I really dislike setting goals. I really dislike New Year's resolutions. Mostly because for many, many, many years, I was an abject failure. I quit throughout the year at some point on all my New Year's resolutions and goals. That led me to becoming OCD, or as my wife likes to call it, old cranky dude. I got really cranky in the process, and so I stopped doing it for many years. 10 years ago, I changed the rules a little bit based on what I was being taught and from trial and error on what works for me. Now, you might be one of those few people, and it's about 8% of the people every year that make it through the year and finish their New Year's resolutions. They attain their goals, 8%. The other 92% of us are somewhere in the place of failing and quitting, giving up on ourselves. That was me. And that's what created the old cranky dude syndrome. I've hung my hat up on that. I've changed some of the rules, and I want to share with you 3 of the biggest mistakes that we make in setting New Year's resolutions or goals. They at least were for me, and from what I've seen for most people. Number 1, and I think a lot of people are going to fall into this one, we make too many goals. I remember sitting down and writing out, pen and paper, really energetically, about 100 plus goals a year that I wanted to achieve. And I felt so good, so clean, getting it all out of here and onto paper, and there's nothing wrong with that. The problem is, that becomes unbelievably overwhelming, because when you get a month into it and you look at that 100 goals that you have and you haven't started really anything, you're thinking, how am I going to finish all this? There's no way I can achieve 100 goals this year. And you're right, you can't. You're setting yourself up for failure. Here's what I've changed. I set 1, 2, max 3 goals. And I know you're laughing out there thinking, wow, that's ridiculous. It works. I focus on 1 to begin with. Just 1. I keep it as simple as possible. I make it and stack the deck in my favor to succeed instead of failing, because I got tired of failing and quitting. So number 1, don't set too many goals. If you've been having a problem and you've been failing at it a lot, try something different. Make 1, 2, maybe 3 at the most. Number 2, you set your goals too hard in the beginning. You haven't done any exercise whatsoever, and you set the goal you're going to run a marathon. I love that goal. The problem is, you're nowhere close to that goal. Getting to your mailbox and back, you're out of breath. So how are you going to set that kind of a goal? I guarantee you this, you are going to be a statistic within 4 weeks. And actually, at the time you're watching this right now, it's a week after the first, almost a week. Do you know that 25% of people have already quit their goals? Within the first week, have already quit on their New Year's resolutions and goals for this year. 25%. They didn't even get started yet, and they've already quit. Don't set yourself up for failure. Baby-proof your goals. If you've ever had a child, you know that in the infancy stages, you have to baby-proof your house. You've got to protect that child from him or herself. So everything has to be bubble wrapped, because they're in that place where everything's a danger, everything's a distraction. Now, as you grow and you continue and you build momentum and strength, then you don't need all the extra protection. But in the beginning, don't make them too hard. Make them as simple and as small as you possibly can so that you can do it every day. That's number 2. Don't set them too hard yet. Grow into it. And number 3, we set too vague goals. We put on there, I want to lose weight. I want to make more money. Maybe the top 2 goals for this year. Okay, well, let's define them a little bit better, because if you can't define it, you can't measure it. You have to be able to measure if you're on the right track so that you can change directions. And if you're just saying, I want to make more money this year, well, if you get a $10 raise through the whole year and you make an extra $10, well, you made more money. You've got to be able to define it a little bit. Be more specific. Write it out. Go in a little bit more depth. Those are the 3 things that most people are going to fail at this year. If you want to succeed this year, keep it really simple. Write 1, 2, or 3 goals. Keep them really simple and be very specific on what you want. And watch how your 2017 changes. My name is Ed Carcarey, and I'd love to connect with you at edcarcarey.com. Find your passion, you'll find your life.